All right, guys, so really quickly, want to give a huge announcement really quickly. I am going to the Senior Bowl on Saturday, so I'm going to be covering the Senior Bowl live, hopefully getting in, maybe speaking with a couple of coaches. Maybe Hugh Freeze will be in there. Maybe I get to meet a couple of coaches as well. But I am going to the Senior Bowl on Saturday. This was kind of a last-minute thing. My work job, obviously, there was somebody who came in who did not need those tickets anymore, so they were like, here, you could just take them or whatever, so they're holding them for me at work. I'm going to go get them tonight, later, and then Saturday, we will be at the Senior Bowl. Hopefully, I'll be able to dap up some of the players. That is my goal, and hopefully talk to Hugh Freeze if that is possible as well. Anyway, though, of course, it's Thursday, so you know what we got to do. We got to go out, react, or predict our SEC basketball men's slate. We also have 2-3 really extra games and big games coming down the stretch that we need to talk about this weekend. One being North Carolina, and Duke. The other one, of course, being Kansas and Houston. And then the next one being just South Alabama. I like to talk about the Jags on here. Obviously, I got it on. It's game day for the Jags tonight. But Saturday, they will also be playing as well. So we're going to predict those 3 extra games as well. And a big night of men's hoops on Saturday. But first, of course, if you guys are new to the channel, be sure to drop a like and subscribe so you guys don't don't miss any videos that we post on this channel. We try to post every single day. With that being said, tomorrow you are getting a pre-recorded video. Tomorrow's video is going to be franchise, I believe week number 3, as we're taking on the Dallas Cowboys in that franchise. And then, of course, Monday next week where we all talking about the Super Bowl, hopefully, except for Thursday as well. Anyway, let's go ahead, hop right into this video, SEC predictions. All right, of course, the first game on the slate is LSU hosting the Arkansas Razorbacks. Arkansas coming off an almost beat of Kentucky. They almost beat Kentucky. Florida did beat Kentucky this week. But I'm going to go with the LSU Tigers here. They don't really lose at home for the most part as well. Whenever they're playing teams like Kentucky as well, they played those really good teams. Of course, they're probably going to lose those games at home. But other than that, LSU's been pretty much on point. They're not a bad team this year, and they're at home. So I'm going to go with the LSU Tigers here in this one against Arkansas. Moving on, you got South Carolina taking on Georgia. Georgia almost coming off a upset win over the Alabama Crimson Tide last night. Alabama obviously was down 17-2 at one point. And then, of course, they could not get it done. But Alabama, of course, gets the job done. And South Carolina just beat Kentucky Tennessee yesterday. And then last week, they beat Kentucky as well. So South Carolina has been on a roll, elevating their spot and status to number 2 in the SEC right now. Alabama, South Carolina, and then Auburn are the top 3 in the SEC. So this gives me a reasoning to pick South Carolina on the road. They should be fine. If they can beat Tennessee and Kentucky, they should be able to beat Georgia on the road. Give me South Carolina. Moving on, you got Missouri taking on Vanderbilt, and I watched this Vanderbilt Commodores team struggle last night against the Auburn Tigers men's basketball team. Not sure what they did wrong last night. They were playing really physical as well. They just couldn't get their shots to fall. They got to find a way for them to get their shots to fall down. But Missouri, on the other hand, they've been red hot recently, I believe. They're climbing up the ladder in the SEC rankings too also. They're on a upset watch for most of these teams as well. So I'm going to go Missouri here on the road in Vanderbilt. I just don't see Vandy getting the struggles fixed within the time frame of 3 days, getting their shots to fall down. They got to work on that. For the most part, though, everything was in place against Auburn. They just got to have shots go in the net. That's the main point. But I'm taking Missouri here on the road in Vandy. Moving on, you got Florida going into Texas A&M. This is going to be one of the underrated matchups of the week. I feel like this is going to be a really marquee matchup to keep an eye on this week in the SEC regarding Florida obviously climbing up the ladder. I'm not sure about Texas A&M. I think they've been struggling, but don't quote me on that. However, though, I'm going to go Florida here on the road. I'm taking most of the road teams here, shockingly. But Florida, again, they're coming off an elite win against Kentucky this past weekend. It doesn't get any better than that. They played Kentucky well the first time, and then they go out and beat them the second time as well. So, therefore, I'm going to go Florida here on the road in A&M. I think it's going to be a close game. This is going to be one of the underdog games, but Florida will get the win in A&M. Moving on, you got the other really good game that I'm looking forward to. That is Auburn going into Ole Miss this time. Last time, Auburn absolutely destroyed Ole Miss, but the Pavilion is a different place to play. That and Mississippi State's arena And I know this is an excuse. This is not an excuse for Auburn losing this game, but the Mississippi teams, their arenas are really tough to play at. Obviously, going on the road to Mississippi State, where we usually struggle on road environments, that's going to play a big factor into this game. And, of course, going on the road to Ole Miss, where we have had struggles in the past. But I've got Auburn winning this game. They're a completely different team. Holloway needs to get his act together. He needs to start making shots go in the net. Trey Donaldson's been on fire. Janai Broom's been hot recently. Those two guys have really been the key ifs for Auburn as well. So I'm really looking forward to the Auburn Tigers against this game in Ole Miss. I'm interested to see how Ole Miss is going to play the Auburn Tigers men's basketball team. How deep we are is a statement to this number 16 spot in the country, and I'm interested to see how Ole Miss is going to handle this, but I've got Auburn in this one in a road victory. It's going to be close, but Auburn's going to win this game. Moving on, you got the blockbuster game that I was talking about earlier. Number 5 Tennessee going into number 10 University of Lexington, Kentucky as well. Top 10 matchup. This is going to be an 8:30 game on ESPN. I'll miss this game too. I'm going to miss the North Carolina one, but I should be able to catch a little bit of the Kansas and Houston one. Now, regardless, I've got Tennessee here on the road. Tennessee has two really good and really capable point guards at shooting the ball. Their 3 points are obviously off the charts this year. They're really good at 3-point shooting. They can get the ball up the floor. Kentucky, on the other hand, I'm not so sure about them. They got a lot of 1 year and one and done players. I don't know why I just stopped there. They got a lot of one and done players on this roster, and I think Tennessee has a little bit more experience on their roster. So therefore, I'm going to go with Tennessee here to walk into Lexington, get the win against Kentucky. It's going to be a hard-fought battle, and Tennessee will rightfully deserve this one. I'm going to go with Tennessee here to beat Kentucky on the road. And then, of course, the finale in the SEC was at least 2 more games we got to predict really quickly, though. Mississippi State going into Alabama. Last time these two teams played, I believe Mississippi State almost won this game. I don't think that's the case here. Alabama's finally starting to find their rhythm. Usually, within the most part, they're number 1, top of the conference right now. They've been playing good. Mark Sears has been on point recently. I had 19 points, I believe, in that game against Georgia in their comeback as well. So the offense for Alabama is rolling. I expect that to continue during this home game against Mississippi State. Again, it's at home, so they shouldn't have a problem in Coleman Coliseum. Let's just hope the lights don't go out as Alabama will get the win. Moving on, you got the one that I am most excited for on Saturday, other than, of course, the Auburn Tigers game and the Tennessee-Kentucky one. That is North Carolina hosting the Duke Blue Devils. This is going to be an all-out, another rivalry, another game that is going to be added historically in the books. Now, normally I don't do a lot of other predictions other than the SEC, because that's what I follow most down here in the state of Alabama. However, though, this game is really important. It's a top 10 matchup for one of the first times in this rivalry. I believe there have been a ton of games like this game. I'm expecting this game to be a shootout, nonetheless. I don't think these two teams are going to play any defense. I wanted to say that I know a lot about these two teams, but I know North Carolina can score the ball. They can run it efficiently. In that Georgia Tech loss, they scored about 86, 87 points within that close loss as well. So they're going to look to push the tempo against this Blue Devils defensive team. However, I'm going to be cheering for Duke here because my boy Zion Williamson, obviously with the New Orleans Pelicans, got 2 of his jerseys in the back there. So I am going to be cheering for the Duke Blue Devils come Saturday. But I've got North Carolina winning this game. I think it's going to be a series split. They're going to split this game, 1 at home for them and then 1 at home for the other team. So give me North Carolina here at home against the Duke Blue Devils as they will split the season series. Moving on, of course, like I said, South Alabama going into Louisiana Lafayette. This is going to be a great game, but I'm taking the Raging Cajuns here. I believe the last time they played, I went to this game at the Mitchell Center. If you guys did not see the post on Instagram, go like that post. Go check it out. Go follow the Instagram. Go follow the Twitter. All of that good stuff. But I've got the Raging Cajuns here. The far out, the better team. South's been kind of on a down slope recently. I'm hoping that they get the win tonight and get back at it. But I think Louisiana's going to take this one here at home against a struggling South Alabama team. And of course, that's going to be all for today's video. Let me know what you number one thought of it in the comments down below. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you obviously want to. Turn that bell on. We do our best to post on this channel every single day. Gonna try to get out to the Senior Bowl this Saturday as well. Like I said earlier, I got tickets, so I'm gonna try to get out there, meet some of the coaches, maybe even post a little bit to YouTube as well if I get the chance to interact with any of them. But that's where I'm gonna cut this video. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's pre-recorded video. So I'll see you guys on Monday.